welcome back to another feature of the Immersive Worlds Handbook. Today I am here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Behind me is a McDonald's restaurant actually, and the somewhat historic Casino Royale, which I'll walk towards now. And actually, I'm not going to be talking about either this McDonald's here or the particular features of the Casino Royale, which is one of my favorite sort of vintage casinos. Looks nothing like much of Vegas today. I think I'll stand by this antique car here. But what I want to talk about is just the value of using research and what research can provide to us. In the handbook, I have a chapter called The Research Break, and this particular chapter, pardon me while I move past the speaker, Outback Steakhouse.
While playing slot or video poker games and earn from 10. I
have to say, as an aside here, this is a part of Vegas that reminiscent, I think, of Fremont Street, reminiscent of the Strip as it used to be, with the exception, of course, of Caesars, which was the first themed casino on the Strip. Reminiscent, as I was saying, of old Las Vegas, and really of that sensibility in which people felt entertainment, but didn't necessarily come for the theme, didn't necessarily come for the sense of entertainment that we see in Vegas today. And actually what I want to talk about, aside from the vintage nature of some of these casinos here, is the value of doing research. As I mentioned earlier, I have a sort of intermediary chapter called The Research Break. And the Research Break is really emphasizing some design strategies that are focused on developing better design, developing better techniques that possibly could go a long way. And I'm coming up here on the Venetian, which you see just in a matter of minutes the dramatic contrast between the old Las Vegas and the new Las Vegas of the Venetian, which I have to say is one of my favorite casinos on the Strip. So the reason I'm walking down here and talking to you about this today, as a police car speeds by, a lot of action on the Strip before New Year's Eve approaches us here. The value of research, I think, it is in general producing better design, and this could be more authentic design, it could be more realistic design, it could be a sensibility that you impart on the guest that really gives them that opportunity to experience something they've never experienced. And what a better way to achieve that than by doing some research. Now, research can be done anywhere, and I mentioned in the research break that it could be in a casino, it could be in Europe in a castle, it could be sitting in a library, it could be doing any number of things, working with colleagues and trying to develop collaborative techniques and forms of appreciation of design and strategies of dealing with guests that will go, I think, an incredibly long way in terms of the authenticity of your theming, the immersiveness of your spaces, and so forth. So for me, as a cultural anthropologist and someone who doesn't just write books about theming, but who studies, having worked in a theme park, I study theme parks, casinos, and really any consumer entertainment space that purports to transport the guests, like the Venetian here, into another realm, into another reality, a fantasy world, a simulation. So for me, I think what is significant, and let me turn the camera around here, is the idea of personally coming to Vegas, looking at the casinos, looking at how the design has changed over time, seeing how the people interact, seeing how the guests understand the themes, the stories, the narratives, the senses of immersion being told on the Strip. So I am doing research right now. I'm not just filming these features to talk about the book. I'm also doing research and trying to understand the intricacies of worlds that very often certainly academics don't like to study because they scoff at the idea that anything on the Strip could be authentic, but believe me, it's quite authentic. It's just a different sense of authenticity, maybe one we have to get used to. And how better to get used to that than by doing more research as I'm doing. So come to the Strip, travel to Paris, travel to Venice, wherever you go, look at design, understand great design, look at great architecture, bring it back home, and create amazing spaces. So thank you for listening, and I hope you will listen to additional features of the Immersive Worlds Handbook.